Loving yourself isn't always easy. There may be times in your life where you felt like you've maybe made a bad choice, right? Maybe you were really weak during that time and you felt like you did the best you could with the best information you had at that time. And still, for whatever reason, you come to the conclusion that you're not even accepting of your own love. But the truth of the matter is that moment in time was just a moment. Because if you look out your whole life, right? Maybe you may have lived a life where things were just hard in general for you. And then maybe you felt like you had that defining moment, that whatever your defining moment was, you felt like that defining moment, you let it fall through your hands, right? You let it identify who you were because of the life you lived, and then it came to your opportunity and you lived up to what everybody's expectations were of you. And so you put yourself down of that, right? Because they thought you wouldn't be any better than that particular person. So you feel like, I am no better than what they said I was, so how could I even love myself? When the truth is yesterday does not define who you are today. Yesterday does not define who you are tomorrow. You have to really look at yourself and understand that the things in our past only hold us back. They shouldn't stop us from loving who we are. They shouldn't stop from allowing ourselves to grow into the person that we want to become. Our past is only there to teach us lessons. It's not to hold us back. You should never allow yourself to actually stop loving yourself. Because when you stop loving yourself, then you stop living, right? We want to continue to better our lives. We want to continue to improve our lives by starting with what counts most. And that's loving yourself. Because if you can't love yourself, how can you expect to love others, right? How can you expect to help others if you don't even love yourself, if you're not even comfortable with the person that you are? And what I'm trying to tell you today is that you should be completely 100% comfortable with who you are today. Those moments in our past, yes, they happen, right? We, again, may have had weaknesses during that time, but whatever the case is, we can't beat ourselves up for that. We have to realize that we make mistakes. Everybody makes mistakes. If there's a person out there that hasn't made a mistake, please let me know, because I would love to know the person out there that has never made a mistake in their life. Now, some things in our lives, yes, they hold a little bit more weight than others, but life is all about trial and error, right? Life is about going through and doing the best that we can with what we have. And yes, life does give us a lot more losses than gains sometimes, and sometimes it gives us more wins than losses. It just comes and goes like the wind, and sometimes, you gotta go with the flow. Loving yourself all comes down to a choice. You can choose to love yourself for who you are, because you are somebody that's great. You are somebody that is capable of doing whatever they want in life. You are the person that is capable of achieving their dreams. You are the person that is capable of taking their health back. You are the person that's capable of going out there and getting what you want. You are capable. You should love yourself for that, because you have the tools to do that. You don't need nobody's permission. You don't need nobody's love, right? You can love yourself. You don't need to look for it outside, right? You should love yourself before you go looking for other people to try to fill that gap, because you're not going to be happy. You're only going to be happy when you can truly love yourself for who you are, and for all the, bad things about you, for all the good things about you. You love you for you because you are unique. And we want to be unique. We don't want to be like everybody else. Because our identity is the one identity that will never be recreated, right? Our uniqueness will never be created again. And yes, we may be missing some wires. Yes, we may be, living a life that, we feel like we've made some big mistakes, but that's okay. We can't live a perfect life. And as much as we try to be perfect, it seems like the more that we set ourselves up for failure, because there's no such thing as perfection. Perfection will hold us back. We don't want to be perfect. We want to have our flaws. We want to be unique. We want to love ourselves for who we are and be okay with that. And if there's other people out there that feel that they can't love us for who we are, well then so be it. We shouldn't have to rely on that external validation. We are to love ourselves because we are comfortable with ourselves, right? And if you're not comfortable with yourself, find a way to be comfortable with yourself. If you're not comfortable with yourself, start doing little things that will help you become comfortable with yourself. If you feel like you're not comfortable in your body, change that. If you're not comfortable with who you've become, change that. If you feel like you've just become some person, this nasty person that just seems to be negative all the time, there are ways to change that. And it takes time, because all these things, they're wired into this crazy brain of ours that we figure this is who we are and there's just no way we can shake it, when in fact you can change it. You have to be willing to change it. But that should still not stop you from loving yourself today. Today you should always love who you are. Today you should always care about the person that you are. You've come a long way. You have to remember that. Whatever your background is, you have come a long way. You should be proud of yourself. Nobody's walked in your shoes. Nobody has lived your life. The decisions you have made have led you up to this point. There may have been some bad decisions, but don't stop that from loving yourself. Choosing to love yourself today will stop you from trying to achieve a point where you feel like, when I get to that point, that's the point I will love myself. Because that day will never come. You need to love today. Tomorrow is not guaranteed. We have to remember that. That today, in the moment, this present moment that we're in right now, is the moment you decide that you're going to love yourself. That you're not going to give yourself excuses, that there is no reason not to love yourself. You need to remove all those ideas of why you shouldn't love yourself and realize that you are good enough. You are the person that is capable of doing anything that they want. Realize that. Realize you're a good person. Realize you're the person that's going to go out there and take what they want out of life. So you're starting now. Start now to love yourself. There's no reason not to love yourself. The past is the past. It's buried, it's done. There's nothing you can do about it. We make mistakes, we move on. And today is the day that is our brighter day. Today is the day we love ourselves. Today is the day that we start moving forward.